Before priesthood, I loved working as an electrical engineer. However, my first day was rough. I felt so overwhelmed that when I got home, I laid face down on the couch and said, I don't want to go back tomorrow. If you have ever felt that way, or wondered how to carry the daily load of your toil and sweat, then this homily is for you, because there is a spirituality of work, according to Pope St. John Paul II. Father Walter Ciszek was a Polish-American priest who carried out clandestine missionary work in the Soviet Union from 1939 to 1963. When the Soviets discovered his identity, they sentenced him to 5 years in prison and 15 years of hard labor in a gulag camp in Siberia. His fellow prisoners obviously had a poor attitude towards their captors, so they worked slowly and even sabotaged the work when possible. Father Walter, on the other hand, worked hard and well, much to their amazement. He showed that there is dignity in working well, even in adverse conditions. He wrote, I tried to explain that the pride that I took in my work differed from the pride a communist might take in building up the new society. The difference lay in the motivation. As a Christian, I could share in their concern for building a better world. I could work as hard as they for the common good. The people who benefit from my labors would be just that, people. There was the realization that work of itself is not a curse, but a sharing in God's own work of creation, a redemptive and redeeming act, noble of itself and worthy of the best in man, even as it was worthy of God himself. St. John Paul II explained that the toil and the drudgery that we equate with work is the effect of original sin. For Adam was sentenced to work the ground by the sweat of his brow. Sin has alienated us from work's real purpose. For example, we are tempted to become enslaved to work, as the Israelites were enslaved in Egypt. As slaves, we fail to attend to a well-balanced life, which includes leisure, worship, friendship, marriage, and family life. Or we complain endlessly about the hardships of work, and then miss the point of work. The Second Vatican Council said that the real purpose of work is this. When a man works, he not only alters things in society, he develops himself as well. He learns much. He cultivates his resources. He goes outside of himself and beyond himself. Rightly understood, this kind of growth is of greater value than any external riches which can be garnered. Thus, the spirituality of work, in short, is this. Work is not about what we produce and achieve, but who we become, as we work and toil and make a living by the sweat of our brow. This means that we don't have to be enslaved to the idea that we are, quote-unquote, working for the man, nor working only for a paycheck, but rather we are working for Christ, to build up his kingdom, and to grow in dignity. After all, when we work well for Christ, we are imitating Christ, who spent more years working hard, 9 to 5, so to speak, than he did redeeming the world. And so when people observe us working hard and well, even in unjust conditions, like Father Walter Ciszek, they will see the divine carpenter shining through our example. We need to start seeing our daily labors, from house chores to manual labor, from managing to ministry, as a participation in Christ's earthly labors. For Father Walter said, there is a tremendous truth contained in the realization that when God became man, he became a working man. Yet he did not think it demeaning, beneath his dignity, nor dehumanizing. If anything, he restored to man's work its original dignity, its essential function as a share in God's creative act. How much better would our worst day at work be if we started to see it as a participation in God's creation? All Christians are called to work hard, to work well, and to work honestly. For St. Paul told the Thessalonians in our second reading, "If anyone is unwilling to work, neither should that one eat." Paul worked hard not only as a missionary, but he supported his ministry, the trade of being a tent maker. He demonstrated our vocation to be co-creators with God and to see that work can help us grow in discipleship. For Pope St. Paul VI wrote, "All life demands struggle. Those who have everything given to them become lazy, selfish, and insensitive to the real values of life. The very striving and hard work that we so constantly try to avoid is the major building block in the person we are today."